Hello and welcome to my channel, and welcome to I guess would be part 3 of my Scratchcard, Scratchboard, whatever the hell you want to call it, bird. And this is it finished, well, the video of it being finished. And I had to speed this up quite a lot because it's like about 2 days worth of footage. So in order to get it down under, half an hour, or it's less than half an hour, I think this is maybe like 10-11 minutes, but I had to speed it up quite a bit. But anyway, I'm adding more feathers to his lighter side, and a lot of the details harder to see because it's such a fine point. You can't see a lot of the shading until I show the scan at the end of the video, and I'll give it a close-up too, because then you can see more of the cross-hatching and stuff. But, or the, what do you want to call it? And see, the can, the pop can on the top right keeps appearing and disappearing. It's like a magical floating can. But yeah, this is it slowed down slightly, and this is like a minute or something, and you can see how slow this is and very tedious this can be, because it's just lines over and over again, which is fine. You just kind of zone out and don't think of anything. You just kind of like go blank, which happens with pointillism too, because all the little dots, you just zone out. But I'm adding just more light feathers to his underneath, what would be his belly, I guess would be his belly, which of what you see of it. I mean, they're good sized birds. I can't remember, he's quite heavy, not heavy, he wasn't like anywhere near the weight of the eagle owl, which was a very stout, solid bird, but he's heavy enough that your arm would hurt after a while if you're not used to holding them. I mean, holding a barn owl all day, okay, yeah, I got to hold a barn owl pretty much all day, that was fun, but this was years ago, when Borders was in Dundee, and that killed my arm. But I was like, no, the handler let me hold the bird all day, so it's like, great, I'll hold the bird, no problem. So I have a lot of photos of that too, which is great. But now I'm just adding some more shading, which once again doesn't show up because it's very fine at this point. And I'm kind of taking artistic license, if you want to call it that, for the shading and the lighting of the thing, because what was too dark, see, I'm moving the pumpkin, too dark, it needed to add a bit more light to it, so I made it lighter than what it is in the photo, which is fine, because, we're allowed to do that, artists and all, we're allowed to change things to see if to make them look the best, I'm having problems talking today. This is the second time I've done this voiceover, just, first one just did not work out at all, and I was just trying to edit it, but it didn't work out, so I was like, damn it, gotta record another one. But back to talking, or not, back to working really fast, or talking really fast. I talk all the fast anyway, but adding more shading, lightening things again, flicking dust away because it was getting everywhere, over my glasses, couldn't see a thing. I'm gonna have to clean my screen because it's just really fine dust, but that's partly because of the very pointy tool. It's very pointy. Did not stab myself with it, so that's good. No band-aids needed. And I'm holding it when I'm shading like this slightly different, closer to the end rather than the tip of the thing, because you want a looser, less control, still controlled, but less control, because you want a very loose look. So that's why now I want a tighter look, so I'm holding it closer to the tip of it. And adding more feathers, I think. I'm like, yeah, so now I am just adding a bit more feather detail and more shading, and so it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of shading involved in this. It took a while, which, like I said, took me 2 days at least, I think, 2 or 3. Yeah, well, I didn't really draw much yesterday. I worked on it a bit, but not much. And then now I'm back to working on his wings, not his feathers. Well, they're feathers, but they're part of a wing. But I'm so trying to make them in the direction that they would lay. So I try to make, when I'm making individual feathers, I'm trying to make the individual follicles, I guess, is what they're called. Yeah, that's what they're called. I think. Maybe I'm probably wrong. Lay in the way they should be laying, because after that shading doesn't matter, but the initial marks have to be in the right direction, or it just looks really odd. And I have the hiccups, but that's okay. It's all the pop I drink. At least as long as I don't burp on camera or on voiceover, I'll be fine. And if I do, I will promise to edit that out, because that's just, unless I'm like, I don't burp the alphabet or anything. My sister can, I can't, or she used to be able to. Anyway, completely off topic here. Now I'm just adding, now some of these feathers here are kind of made up, but the space, like I said, I think mentioned earlier, was just way too dark, so I needed to add a bit more light to it. And in the end, it works. I just had to make sure that they all laid in the way they normally would lay if the bird had extra feathers, I guess. You know, they do molt, so they don't have as many feathers all the time as they normally do, you know, and they come back. But yeah, birds molt. They kind of shed like dogs. Did more people know that? I don't know. I mean, I knew that, but bird people obviously know that. But, you know, like, if you've got like a cockatoo, or for example, I mean, I never had a cockatoo. I had a cockatiel, but not a cockatoo. Didn't have the space for a cockatoo. They need a lot of space. But in here, I don't have a bird here. I've got a dog who doesn't like birds, who barks at them all the time. There's a sterling in the roof next door who she just hates and is constantly barking at because they have a nest and birds and baby birds. But I should draw them one day. Maybe I'll do an etching from them. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, maybe I'll draw them next because they're actually quite colorful. People think they're very black, but no, they're very colorful. And so just adding random feathers to it. And I really don't have much to talk about this because it's really just me adding lots of feathers to things. And I think I'm flicking away so much dust because either the tool's getting dull or I'm just not pressing hard enough. I think that's maybe getting dull. I might have to get hubby to sharpen it before I finish an etching, but he can do that on his grinder or whatever he's got. He wears safety goggles and stuff, and he can do that. Adding more shading, which does not show up very well, like I said. It's there, trust me, it is there. You kind of you can see it now. The more I build it up, the more you do see it. And check the angle. And adding more feathers. And these feathers were there, actually. It wasn't making up these feathers that I'm working on now at the moment. And they were there because it's like the feathers before the primary feathers, so they were there. I don't know. I can't remember what all the feathers are called off the top of my head. Used to. But, you know, other information has gone out of my brain from uni. No, that's not how the brain works, but I just can't think of them at the moment. And I'm tilting my head looking at what I'm doing, and I don't know why I'm doing that, because I can't, you know, it's a camera. I'm just adding more shading, and more shading to the feathers, and adding more sort of real feathers. I think I make them a bit bigger, and add a couple extra ones than what they actually are, but you don't notice, really, you know. But, and then just, yeah, so this is the extra feathers. It just shows up out of nowhere. I just, you know, wouldn't really have it. Well, it would have it, but then I'm just adding more, add a bit of shading to one of the big primaries. And, yeah, and then some shading to some other feathers at the top, which were there, but not quite as light as they are here, is in the reference photo. They're very reddish brown birds. Obviously not black and white. So you have to kind of, easiest way, if you want help or cheat, whatever you want to call it, it's not cheating. You just convert the photo to grayscale, and that helps. I mean, I didn't in this case, but it can help if you can't get the idea in your head what's supposed to be dark and light. Just convert it to grayscale, and it helps, actually. And you can see here how white things are, and I'm just adding more shading. Lots and lots of shading. That's why it took so long, and then it's just, yeah, lots and lots of more shading, and I'm just rambling because I have nothing to talk about. It's just a bird that I'm working on. And I added light to the back, which works in the end, but it could have went completely wrong. It could have been could have not suited it at all, but it doesn't look too out of place. Even though it is quite light for the area, because the light wouldn't be hitting that back as much as the left side looking at the screen. It wouldn't be hitting it quite that much, but ignore where the light source should be coming from. The light's coming from all around. Actually, it was quite a sunny day that day. So, but the bird was looking away and twisting away, so I'm looking at something. But now I'm just adding some more shading to the side of the head, or I was there for a second, and back to shading the feathers. I move around a lot just because I'm like, okay, where does it need shading? And I do that on a lot of things, so whether I'm doing etching, painting, drawing, I move around a lot. Colored pencils, same thing. Move around a lot just to make sure everything kind of looks not symmetrical. Symmetrical is not the right word. Symmetry is not the right word either. everything looks okay, we'll say. It's not the right word. You know, for somebody who's got a master's in literature, I really am not being able to think of words properly right now. But yeah, back to shading the head so that I didn't want it too light, because then it would look really out of place, which you don't want, but it needed a bit of lightening up because it just was a bit too dark compared to what it needed to be. And I'm working on the eye there. You couldn't see it, but I did, which looks a different texture. Well, it is a different texture because I had to use ink to cover up a previous mistake, like I said, I think the first video. Not that you can see what I'm doing, but yeah, so this is it finished, and it turned out pretty good, actually. I actually like the way it looked. Or looks, I should say. And for not doing Scratchcard, Scratchboard, whatever, for 4 or 5 years, I'm actually pretty happy with the way it looks. And the next one I do, I will probably do outside and reposition the camera, and people can see more what I'm doing. And I'll put a close-up of it here so that more people, or you can see more of the texture and the cross-hatching. And so, yeah, that's that finally finished. It wasn't supposed to be a 3-parter. But it took a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to be. And the next video is going to be a digital video, probably, of me finally, hopefully, finishing the dog I started, or our dog, that I started, was it last week? I think it was last week. So yeah, please come back and look at that.